A private jet terminal is designed to be the ultimate pinnacle of speed, luxury, and uncompromised executive service, a private portal where corporate leaders, international diplomats, and global figures step away from public airports, expecting absolute discretion and professional efficiency. But for one long-serving terminal manager, hospitality was never extended based on human decency. It was strictly reserved for those who arrived wearing tailored designer suits and holding platinum travel passes. A young woman wearing a simple dark navy flight jacket over a plain top, practical dark trousers, and sturdy leather boots walked into the quiet VIP lobby of the city's premier executive aviation center. She had spent her morning inspecting turbine engines down at her maintenance hangar and walked into the lounge to meet her chief aviation attorney. The terminal manager glanced at her practical outfit and flight jacket, let out a cold, condescending chuckle, and informed her that the lounge was strictly restricted to ticketed corporate jet passengers. He then pointed toward the public terminal down the access road, suggesting she find a seat over there. What he didn't know was that the woman he had just casually ordered off the carpet had finalized an international fleet buyout less than 4 hours earlier, making her the sole owner of the charter company, the private terminal, and the entire aviation group that held the airport master lease. Before we get into the full story, comment down below where you are watching from today, and subscribe to Silent Empire so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get into it. The Skyward Executive Terminal had stood on the edge of the international airport for over 15 years. Featuring custom glass architecture, private conference suites, and direct tarmac access to long-range Gulfstream jets, it catered exclusively to the region's top corporate elite. For the past 8 years, terminal operations were directed by a man named Gregory Hayes. Gregory ran the VIP lounge like his personal private club. He frequently boasted to his concierges that maintaining an exclusive environment meant keeping anyone who didn't look the part far away from the terminal doors. In Gregory's mind, true power always arrived driving chauffeured luxury sedans, wearing tailored Italian coats, and carrying high-end leather luggage. Anyone who entered wearing simple, functional clothing was, in Gregory's eyes, a ground crew worker who had lost their way, someone to be cleared off the carpet immediately. What Gregory failed to realize was that real, massive wealth in aviation rarely feels the need to dress up for lounge clerks. And nobody demonstrated that quiet reality better than Sarah Vance. Sarah was 34 years old, the managing director of a global transport and aerospace holding company that owned cargo fleets, private charter networks, and international aircraft leasing trusts. Sarah was a licensed commercial pilot and aeronautical engineer who preferred being hands-on in the hangars rather than sitting in air-conditioned offices. Despite controlling an aviation portfolio valued in the hundreds of millions, Sarah lived with quiet simplicity. She preferred functional flight jackets, drove an unpretentious utility truck, and never bothered with loud designer labels. To anyone who didn't know her name, she looked like an ordinary maintenance pilot. At 2:30 p.m. on a clear Thursday afternoon, Sarah walked through the automatic glass doors of the Skyward Executive Terminal. She held a black tablet under her arm and looked around the quiet, sunlit lounge for the corner table where her corporate attorney was scheduled to meet her. Her dark jacket was practical, and her leather boots made a quiet, steady sound on the polished granite floor. Gregory Hayes, dressed in a sharp three-piece suit, noticed her immediately from behind the concierge marble desk. His eyes narrowed in disgust as he watched her step onto the hand-woven VIP rug. He stepped out from behind the desk and blocked her path. "May I help you find the service exit?" Miss Gregory asked, his voice dripping with forced, icy formality. "The crew quarters and refueling offices are around the back of the building." Sarah turned her head, her expression calm and composed. "Good afternoon. I'm actually not crew for the flight. I'm waiting for Arthur Miller from Miller Corporate Law," He reserved table 4 for our meeting. Gregory let out a loud, scoffing laugh that made 2 executive travelers look up from their laptops. Arthur Miller is the chief legal counsel for the largest transport firm in the state, Gregory said patronizingly. He does not hold executive strategy sessions with ground mechanics in flight jackets. I assure you, Mr. Miller is meeting me here, Sarah replied evenly. If you check the private lounge schedule under Vance Aerospace, you'll see our appointment. Gregory's fake politeness vanished completely, replaced by a sharp, arrogant sneer. Let's cut to the chase, miss. Look at what you're wearing. You stepped onto a premier VIP terminal floor wearing workwear. Our passengers pay thousands of dollars an hour for an unblemished, world-class experience. We do not allow people in flight suits to lounge on our executive furniture. He pointed sternly toward the sliding exit doors. The public airline terminal is 2 miles down the perimeter road. I am sure you can find a gate seating area down there. Now please step off this floor before I have terminal security remove you for trespassing. Sarah stood her ground. Her eyes remained fixed on Gregory with absolute calm. You haven't checked your computer. You haven't asked for my identification. You've simply decided based on my jacket that I don't belong in this terminal. I don't need a computer to spot someone who doesn't belong, Gregory snapped, stepping closer. Now leave immediately. Before Gregory could signal his security guards, the private elevator doors behind the concierge desk opened with a chime. The chief executive officer of the charter fleet, Captain Robert Mercer, stepped out onto the marble floor accompanied by 2 senior board directors holding thick blue leather folders. Robert was looking around anxiously until his eyes landed on Sarah standing quietly in her navy flight jacket. Robert's face lit up with immediate relief, and he hurried forward across the VIP carpet. Miss Vance! Robert exclaimed loudly, bowing his head respectfully. My deepest apologies for keeping you waiting. Our board conference upstairs ran over time while we finalized the asset transfers with the FAA representatives. Welcome to the flagship terminal. Gregory froze in place, his face turning pale as paper. Robert. Captain Mercer, what is going on? This woman was trespassing in the passenger lounge without a boarding pass. Gregory, shut your mouth right now. Robert shouted, his voice echoing across the silent terminal lounge. Sir, Gregory stammered, his confident posture completely shattering into panic. I was simply enforcing our long-standing guest presentation rules for individuals who do not meet our VIP travel standards. She is the VIP standard, Gregory. Robert shouted, causing every staff member and passenger in the lounge to stare in shock. Miss Sarah Vance is the managing director of Vance Aviation Holdings. As of 11 o'clock this morning, her firm completed the full buyout of our entire charter network, this terminal building, and the master airfield lease. She is our new boss. The entire private lounge fell into absolute, dead silence. Gregory felt his knees buckle. The blood completely drained from his face as he looked from Robert down to the signed buyout contracts in the leather folder, and then back to Sarah's simple navy jacket. She owns the charter fleet. Gregory whispered, his voice shaking violently. Miss Vance requested an unannounced walkthrough today, Captain Mercer added coldly, looking at Gregory with deep disdain. She wanted to see how visitors were treated when they arrived without corporate escorts or designer attire. Sarah stepped forward, her voice low, steady, and filled with quiet authority. In less than 3 minutes, Mr. Hayes, Sarah said softly, you threatened me with security, mocked my work attire, and tried to drive me off a terminal my company owns. You didn't show a single second of basic hospitality. You simply assumed that because I wore a flight jacket, I lacked power. Gregory's hands trembled uncontrollably as he tried to speak. "Miss Vance, please. I had no idea who you were. If I had known your position, I would have cleared the entire terminal private suite for your arrival. And that," Sarah said calmly, "is the exact reason you will no longer manage this facility. Respect shouldn't depend on a ticket tier. It should be given to everyone." By the end of the day, Gregory Hayes was officially relieved of his duties as terminal manager, with his security credentials permanently revoked across all regional airports. Sarah Vance ordered a complete review of all terminal operations, ensuring that every facility under her control became a place of professional respect and warm efficiency for all passengers and crew members alike. Never judge a person's authority by the jacket they wear or the boots on their feet. You never know if the person standing in workwear is the one who owns the entire fleet. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button and subscribe to Silent Empire for more stories of quiet strength, sudden turns, and ultimate accountability. See you in the next one.